I've probably got a fairly unique history in the dairy industry. I spent 37 years on the other side of the industry in administration and management, and in 1998 I became a farmer, and we went into partnership with a neighbour of ours at the other side of the valley, and we started farming here in 2000 with our daughter and son-in-law. We've got a mixed herd, but predominantly Holstein Friesian, around about 80% Holstein Friesian, and some straight Jersey cows, the rest of the herd. I grew up in this area actually, and after doing the other job and spending 12 years in Melbourne, I had a yearning to go dairy farming, and I knew this was one of the most reliable areas in Australia to dairy, and so there was a certain attraction to come back. We have very good climate. We've had in excess of 1,000mm rainfall for the last 2 or 3 years, and we're in the middle of March now, and we've got a beautiful feed base already this year, so we live in a very lucky area, I guess, but I guess that's why Lake Hume and Lake Dartmouth are in this region. It's a good catchment area. Dairying can be a very successful business, and we particularly ourselves run a very successful and profitable dairy business. It has been very difficult for some people, particularly in the northern parts of the state, with the prolonged drought we've had, and we've had a couple of very serious flooding take place in a couple of small areas of the Victoria in recent times as well, but overall the recovery is taking place at the moment. Milk prices have moved significantly in the last 2 or 3 years compared to the long-term average, and predictions are that there's a great opportunity for dairy going forward. Well, Dairy Australia plays a significant role within the industry. It's a body that farmers are entitled to be members of, but it plays a role in many areas, like People in Dairies, a very significant area where people can go onto a website and look at award structures, look at share farming arrangements, leasing arrangements, and many other things. There are other areas where they contribute to the robotic milking systems in conjunction with some of the dairy industry suppliers. The other side is the dairy business networks, where people have the opportunity to understand their businesses, so many and varied, but they do assist in the delivery of health and nutritional understanding for this health industry in Australia as well. There's a close relationship between some of the universities around Australia and Dairy Australia in looking at being able to split the components of milk to get more derivatives from the protein of milk, which is an important research, and also looking at the nutritional value of milk, and there's a certain amount of research going into that. It's an agreed position with the federal government that if the industry chose to get the support of government, and were enabled to get the support of government to look at the ways we can deliver support and research to the farming community, and it became a compulsory levy on that basis, where there was government contribution as well as farmer contribution. It's interesting to note that about 6% of the people that voted in the polls voted for 15%, but so there are people that do believe we should invest more in research, and I think there's a number of people that, but you have to, Dairy Australia had to find a balance, and they had an independent group of people look at what was best for the industry. I think there was 24 people independently in that structure, and their advice to Dairy Australia was for a 10% increase, and that was what was presented to farmers. I voted in favour of an increase of 10%, and I believe it was necessary.